Don't write in the chat, right click the like button, you get blocked like this. And don't write disrespectful comments and act surprised you get blocked. If you troll, you harass, you attack me in the chat, expect to get blocked. Okay. This is going to be the last part of today's martial arts training, so I decided to do more martial arts training. This will be the third live training stream today. I will go kind of light. So normally my training sessions are in a faster state, so I do notice a decrease in energy in athletic performance training after eating. So normally everything I do, exercise and training, is in a faster state. And today I broke my fast a little bit sooner than usual. I fast more than 20 hours per day, 20 plus hours. And a lot of times it'd be 25 plus or close to 30 or something like this. Anyway, I woke my fast earlier than normal today. And the training I'm doing today have been after eating. I do notice a decrease. I don't feel as energetic. I didn't feel as energetic in my training stream. So fasting has many benefits. I don't fast to stay slim. I could eat more and stay in shape. It has mental, physical health benefits, athletic performance. It's just a better way to live for me. Fast 12 plus hours. I'm doing that for 5+ years. It's not a thing I get. I have an ideal male physique, and I get a lot of haters because it comes out of people who want to eating better than them. So if you look better than the average person, and people see you looking and doing better, that's what gets a lot of people hating on it. The ones that are not paid to hate on it. It's pretty simple, like a lot of children never grew up. A lot of people are toxic and they never grew up. Part of maturity is growing into a non-toxic person that's not walking on envy. And so toxic and immature that you see somebody looking better than you and you feel bad and you start attacking them. That's so immature. People like little children, no wonder the media has you around the finger. You get to see by the deep state to do all the stupid things you get to do. Eating high sugar diet, using toxic chemical, puts on his lotion, do what is told. As the mainstream media market has been telling you, buy Head and Shoulders. You put your lotion on, you do as you're told, and it gets the holes again. It holds itself down. See? And then they have that with you. I'm a seen person. I'm the guy in the daily view they can see. And there's a contempt for the masses because the masses have a symbiotic relationship with the elites. It's like a symbiotic relationship. It's like the deep state make life easy if you live for pleasure and it kind of makes it comfortable. Then people like me that don't live like the deep state wanted to have a harder life. Okay. So it's gonna be all knee strikes and kicks. Why? Because if not, I'm gonna have to take it down and go and wash it down for 15 minutes in the bathtub. So I'm not gonna be hitting it because I've been kicking and putting dirt on it. So if I punch with bare skin, I might beat some sand specks off into my skin. It can get infected and stuff like this. So I'm not looking to have infections. So just being intelligent about training. Bill Berg. Well, this is not a Bill Berg roast. The little quick Bill Berg roast. I got a little drive-by, like a quick roast. Just launching here. So Bill Berg was in the recruitment pool for the 9/11 hijackers to be one of the guys driving the airplane into towers. But they elected not to hire him because they need a guy they can trust that he can actually fly the plane right and hit with one hit. So he's been bolstered by his pilot, got license out of flight jobs or whatever. By the way, they were considering him as a young coming up, open throttle airplaner. Like he was like an open mic. He was like an open airplaner. Okay, like an open throttle. Then it's like he shows up at an airfield, kind of drivers. Yeah, it's the open throttle mic. He gets to drive it. And eventually he gets he gets a license. He like drives guys $6,000 with a license or something. I don't know what's the code for the package. is his pilot license. Yeah. So Bill Berg, okay. Go to the stage talk about Bill Berg. Bill Berg, everybody. Bill Berg sucks. Let's say boom. Yeah. So Bill Berg. See, he was off to just suck up. I wasn't expecting it. So it's the point. Bill Berg, everybody. So another thing, Bill Berg, he gets hired to perform at funerals. You know why? Okay. You know why? Because you know how there's a thing where everybody had at least once, but it's like a situation where it's absolutely inappropriate to laugh, and that makes you want to laugh. I had this experience in like school, and it's like the class clown like in bodies, and it's like some stern teacher, and they don't like you laughing, and it's like Tess, you're not allowed to laugh, and the guy goes up, what's up for this? Understand? Is it just that you're not allowed to laugh and make it harder not to? Okay. It's like you're not supposed to laugh, and that there's like this situation where it's completely inappropriate, forbidden to laugh, and that might make it more likely to laugh because the other guy goes like, repeat together, because you know they'd be like, hey, you get it, you have to sit at the principal's 10 minutes a day. I've had enough of you laughing in my class or something like this, or whatever. You're breathing up or something like this. That's the point. So basically, the worst thing, what is the worst thing that can happen at a funeral? The worst thing that can happen at a funeral is people bursting out in laughter, okay? Because it's like they say this person has died, he's supposed to not be like happy that they died, okay? So Bill Burr actually coming up, he still gets hired sometimes. That's when he hears podcasts in hotel rooms and the covers like he's performing somewhere. But it's like he gets hired to perform at funerals, okay? He's a funeral comedian. And basically it's to ensure that people are the opposite of entertained and like a bored and like serious grave mood, say the opposite of humor. So Bill Burr is hired as like a warm-up act for the priest who goes up and talk about people like this person is dead and it's forever now and it's never see him again, whatever the priest goes. And Bill Burr is like a warm-up act and behind to be like Bill Burr come up to this comedy as a way to make sure that everybody is the opposite in a funny mood and like laughing. Like they get sets the tone of like this is super serious, not funny mood we're in right now. This is your guy. And the priest comes up to this guy, he's dead, you never see him again, okay? And maybe now he's not laughing. But that's the point. Bill Burr, that's part of what he does. So he's a funeral comic. And there's like a new category. There might be other people who get roasted as being one of these people. He's a funeral comic. You know, like this guy's another funeral, just another funeral comic. Okay. So Bill Burr is a funeral comic. He also gets hired as a euthanasia comic at the elder homes to kill old people, like bored them to death. I say, we got a young comic kid, Bill Burr, Billy Freckles, and he performs it. It's like a death panel or something like this. And it's like, it's got to be 1 out of 10 people that just kill over, they die from boredom. They're so, the opposite of the 10, they get so depressed, there's like some people just blow their brains out live. So they ask, hey, nurse, give me like death injections. See, it's like, so they get them to like ask themselves how to get away with the euthanasia of the elderly. Okay, it's like they can't force us. It's like they get Bill Burr to perform at the elderly home. 30 minutes, and there'd be people like asking, hey nurse, hit with the death injections. So I said, Bill Gates is standing back and back. It's like, wait a second, Bill, this is exactly what we pay you for. Okay, like Bill Gates in the back, like, okay, that's exactly what I'm hiring you for. This is another elderly person. We can hire 2 more school teachers now, so for this. So, what is called best test, we're not supposed to have discussion for this. So that's another Bill. So here's the point. Now, unfortunately, a lot of what they might do to the masses is voluntary. Okay, so it's soft tuning, if you call it. Where now I'm in a different level where I get talked against my will. But if I'm talking to this, like the average person who's a non-TIA but still talking about a deep state, if you're alive in this world, you're talking of Satan and the deep state who worship them, who the Lucifer and deep state power leads. They're his bidders. As the first person gonna get blocked, okay, you're talking about, oh, thanks for informing me, okay. This is one of these gaslighting comments against sometimes. People come in, and it's gaslighting. Who are you talking to? Okay, type of comments. This time, you are talking alone. It's like, yeah, I don't know if you heard about it. Bill Burr makes a podcast, gets alone in a room, records himself talking, uploads his YouTube channel. So it's like, I'm gonna explain this because you're gaslighting. It's like, who are you talking to? This is a troll title again. Who are you talking to? It's almost as if they're acting like like a false narrative. They're trying to run like this guy's mental ill. Even my behavior is not mental ill. See, it's not like, oh look, it's a dragon, or something like this. Not that going on. Where it's like, oh, this guy looks like his parents is friend. It's like, hello Bob. It's like there's nobody there or what it is. No, it's like it's a guy making a podcast. It's like disgusting people. Okay, really disgusting people. So whatever. I have experienced passion, but try to get a sponsor for people like you. There's if I can find a sponsor for it, bungee jumping with a rope, and then for people like you, bungee jumping without a rope for half the price, okay? Or like an experience pack for haters like you. It'd be fly like an event where you fly in this go paragliding as an experience pack. So people do this. How you go up there and you jump. It says parachute, skydiving with a parachute for $50. Skydiving without a parachute special, $25, $10 or something. What else? Here's another thing you can do. You get a ball and chain like they had in the Middle Ages for prisoners, and you get it like the clasp between legs. You get somebody to roll into the middle of like a deep lake, and you throw it overboard, and then you swim against the current. It'd be good exercise. So notice how this is cyberstalkers. This Dante's the Don got blocked. Then it comes back, Dante's the Don. So he has another account, see. So this is the cyberstalk that I get, where it's like one person cyberstalker subscribed to me with 5 accounts, and I block one of them, and they come back with another one. What I do, they run interference because this is somewhat entertaining, so they're worried about never interrupt anyone is making a mistake. It's like when I do things that they're concerned about the work treatment, you get me to crash out and sabotage the videos in real time like heckling. Okay. Which is easy to do to Mike Cycles. You're not in the room within 15 feet of me behind a locked door. And you wouldn't be acting like this if you're in the room right now, and you know what to, buddy. It's not that facetious, you're not a body, it's also by your enemy. You're waging psychological warfare, which means you started a conflict. See? If somebody bullies somebody, they start a fight. The fight started when you started using psychological violence to attack somebody. By the way, that's my mentality of things. If you're in a room with somebody, they're being passive aggressive toward it, you start a fight now. And it's up to them if they, how they respond to it. But that's my mentality, 5 minutes. If you're in a room with somebody and you start narcissistic dog abuse, pick on them, messing with them, suddenly or not, you just started the fight, see? Okay? You made a normal conversation into attacking you with psychological violence. I'm working to hurt you right now, see? So it was a normal interaction until you start, I'm trying to hurt you right now, see? And right now you're just doing it psychologically. But as far as I'm concerned, the fight started. And my stepfather, at least once, he was as a father to me. At least, yeah. First fist fight I got in was one side. I punched the guy in the mouth who was bullying me, and then he got shocked. I didn't want to fight anymore. And to give like a little bit of the side story of that, so there was a childhood friend who grew up in the same village, and it's like me, his brother, and my sister, like we're like childhood friends. We hang out and play together, and we're somewhere in the forest and playing around. It turns into bullying. We're like they pick on me, laughing at me, making fun of me, so this, and I walk up and punch him in the mouth. Okay, it's like general zero. And he gets shocked with his blood on his hand, his blood here. And then he like walks off and didn't want to fight anymore. Okay. So now, here, how do I respond to this? After this, I'd sit fight, and then I turn to flight. Fight, flight, freeze, fall, 4 F-trauma responses. These are high-stress situations, you can trigger that. So first goes to fight. Then I turn to flight. It's like, oh crap. It's like, I messed up. I gotta get a spanking from my stepfather. It's like there's fear now, okay? So there's anger and then fear. It's like I run off into like a little wooded area and hide there. And what I was worried about was this guy's dad coming to kick my ass. I was worried about his dad hearing about it, and either coming and being mad at me, or telling my dad, and I'm in for like a serious talking to. Like, okay, perhaps he's a willful boy. Maybe instead of talking to, maybe perhaps a bit more. What's about it? So okay. It's like basically, it's like I was feeling like the Stanley Kubrick. It's something like commodity moment. So it's like whatever. So I'm hiding like in the woods and like looking for his dad's car. It's a small village. I know his dad's car by side. It's like I'm looking like I'm worried. It's like his dad's he's gonna go home, tell his mom, dad about it. They're gonna call my house. My dad is gonna hear about it. And I gotta get like a book. Okay. So it's like, okay. So it's a dish before a guy's roughly your size with a boy, or like a teenager. And like his stepdad is like a beast, like a huge guy. So here's the point. I didn't feel that confident about it. Like if the turns physical, that'd be from on top. So it's suffice to say. So here's the point. Eventually, after what maybe was 3 minutes, but it felt for a long time. It's like, you know what, take the bull by the horns is what I tried to do. Whereas like, I'm gonna have to go home at some point. Like the chickens are gonna come home to roost, so he's gonna get told no matter what. So it's like maybe it's best that I kind of get ahead of it and tell him first. Like I tell him what happened before somebody else does, and it might not be an accurate representation. So take the bull by the horns, and I can go home and tell him, hey, I don't know if you heard about it, but it's like I punched this guy in the face. I punched the guy and he was picking on me. And my sister was just said, well, just like they would bully me. And so it's like, so what I was saying, I kind of gave like the skin of what happens. Like they would pick on me and bully me and saying this and saying that. And this guy was picking on me and I walked up and punched him. And my dad went, well, he was bullying you. And he didn't just walk up and punch for no reason. He had some grace. I didn't get respect that way. Which is like the lesson is, if you, and it's like strike not with a man without a cause if you done thee no harm. It's a Bible verse. So it's like, oh, I strove with a guy. Hath he done thee harm? See, this is biblical. It's like, like now I know the scriptures. It's like he's basically, I come to like, I strove with a guy. Like physical, I fought, I punched a guy. Okay. And then it's like, he goes, like what happened before that? It's like, well, they will pick on bully me. Or if they pick on you, and then you fought them, it's like you stood up to bully or stuff like this. I told the truth, I was bullied, and I got angry and punched him. Okay. And he goes, well, if he was bullying you, he's not like it's great or like celebrate, but he had grace. But there's a Bible where strive with a man without a cause if you've done no harm. And like loose application could be as a general thing. It's like you don't fight in any way with people, you fight with you first. That doesn't mean if somebody insults you, it gives you right to punch them necessarily. But there's certain things. So anyway, that's the point. So I count that as a win, see. I won my first street fist fight before I was 15. There is just one punch that took the fight out of him. Didn't knock him down or knock him up, but he gave him a shock and took the fight out of him. And there was blood. So they took the fight off. The fight, one punch throw, the fight was over. I didn't pursue him, but he started backing off and shot him. It's no kicks him. It's like I was going to attack that guy to stop bullying me for sure. See? That stopped the bullying right there. It's like this bullying going well, at least I walk up punch in the face and suddenly I'm not being bullied anymore right after that, see? There's no bullying anymore. It's the guy was shocked with blood on his hand and looking like surprised. So that's interesting how people act surprised, as if they felt safe a lot of times, they felt security. Like they got from your body language, social anxiety or nervousness, or your body language, maybe you're signaling timid submission, something like this. Whatever the psychology is. Like they feel like this is a safe bully victim until reality proves them wrong. And if it is, then it's like, so the shock is telling something that he wasn't expecting that to happen to him for what he was doing. See? So, anyway, here's the point. I wish I would have had some like more, which it's good I did it, but I would like to have some more, like some better fight stories. Like the ones that I have is not just like, it's like I get punched once or another person punched once and the fight is over pretty much. And also like I talked about before, like cop wrestling a few times and getting injuries that way. So cop wrestling is a dangerous sport, and I don't recommend it. Okay, I had rotator cuff injuries for many years in pain, and they still click when I'm exercising. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm disabled in my shoulders. I have full range of motion, I can throw punches, do pull-ups and push-ups and everything. But for a few years after, I can't pull on my arms a certain way. I had rotator cuff injuries and pain. And now I still have clicks in the shoulder sometimes, but not really. It's like some serious pain or anything. So that's the point. So yeah, I did a calf wrestling is a dangerous sport. I don't recommend it. So basically, calf wrestling as the sport, which I kind of dabble in as a young man being out of the drinking, is getting drunk and belligerent that the cops are up to kind of, and you don't throw punches like this, but you act the way with this to get hands on with you, to get it to ground, and you're not resisting violently, but it's like you're not making it easy. It's like the art of resisting without it being in a way where you can be charged for it or something like that. It's like the art of resisting without being charged for resisting arrest after. So it's like you can become dead weight. It's like if the cops like, oh, they want to get me the van over there, and I become a sack of potatoes or something like this, understand? Like dead weight. It's like they gotta have to put it in work to get me the van, understand? So that's one way to. It's like you just get like you go leap, and you gotta have to. They're getting a workout to get me over there in the van. So that's the way to resist. Like a Bible local laws for myself, place use of weapons, so don't do combat. It's a dangerous sport. So that's the point. So one time I was a concert, I got my shoulder shot. So basically, the skit of the story is I'm publicly intoxicated. A cop shows up, tries to pull my beer. I didn't like it. There's like a little stand up with each other, like squared up with each other. And he's like, yeah, we're gonna get you in. I'm like, that's not gonna be that easy for you, something like this, that type of stuff. And then like he's surprised by quick, like in his hands when they turn me around to get my arms and they get cuffs on me. Later on, I'm in the room waiting for the paddy wagon, and here's the thing. So this is how I got injuries. So I'm sitting on a bench, cup behind my back like this. And there's two cops, and I think one of them is sitting on the bench next to me, the other one is standing there. And it's like I've been belligerent public drinking in Stockholm. It's called Plattan. It's like the square. It's black and white, and it has splatter on it. Some of these words I don't know in English. But it's a point. And I'm like drinking beer, car shot, pour it out. I go, I'm not pouring, I'm gonna finish it, stuff like this. And then it's like, I'm gonna pour it out there. It's like, it sounds aggressive. Like, it sounds like a threat, it's gonna get hands. Then I'll take it, pour it out. It's like, that's not gonna be that easy, stuff like this. That's just like verbal, okay. And eventually, it's like kind of like a moment we're standing from each other, like squared up. And then I'm like, it's gonna be hard for you, pretty much. It's not gonna be easy for you to take stuff like this. Okay, but it was easy. I was surprised at how easy it was. So he got something. Like, I think what it did was to get his hands on my shoulder, like spin me around, like turn me around somehow, and get in my arms, and then his body gets cuffs, or he got a cuffs on. So anyway, I'm led away. Later on, I'm in a room where you're here, and they have like a paddle that goes around. Maybe there's other people. But so they're gonna put you in a van and take you to the arrest cell, and they can keep for 8 hours without charging for anything, just for public intoxication and things like this. It's called LOB, lagring, or they have a law of like apprehending intoxicated persons or something like this. Okay, and up for 8 hours without charging for anything. Now to clarify that specifically, which is law is specific or it's not good law. So what does that mean? Public intoxication. Does it mean that when I was drinking, if I would drink, go to the corner store to buy cigarettes after having like a shot of alcohol, and on my way home they come to the cops, you smell alcohol, blow the breathalyzer, so like, oh, you're drunk, they can't know. So it's not enough to be drunk in public, and it's not enough to be belligerent in public. Like, I don't like the cops in the shop, so that's not enough to apprehend you. Okay. If the cop shows up there, I feel harassed. I feel like you're a bad guy. That's not illegal. But if you're drunk and acting like that, so these two things together, now that can give them the leverage to be able to get you in a cage for 8 hours without charging or anything. So one part is like being a guy that like if I'm not drunk, cops show up like, hey, we're here, I'm had enough. Here we go again. I'm sick and tired of your crap and stuff like this. If I'm not drunk, and that's not normally how I react if cops show up, okay? But if that were my reaction, it wouldn't necessarily be that they could like take me, put me for 8 hours somewhere. Okay. And being drunk, just if I go to the supermarket to buy cigarettes and I drank alcohol before leaving, and the cops show up as on way home, and like you smell alcohol breathalyzer, it's like, oh, you are drunk. A lot of water and alcohol is different for this. That's not enough to like put you in a cage. But even if you're calm, like you're drunk but you're not belligerent, you just chill. I'm on my way home. Okay, do you have something? Yeah, okay, whatever. But if you're drunk and loud and obnoxious or like kind of like loud, okay. These two things together, now you're risking that the cops can have some leverage to get you in a cage for 8 hours. So if you're belligerent, drunk in public, and eventually, a lot of times it requires them to disobey the commands. Like if you're drunk and they tell, go straight home right now, okay? Like if you're like, oh, walking down the street, whoa, no, the only way home, and the cops show up or somebody say like, hey, where do you live? Like over there, do you go straight home? If we see you again tonight, you might or something like this. But it's like a lot. It's not enough just to drunk a little bit loud. Just specifically, you have to be kind of drunk and acting in a way where it's like reasonable to assume there's like something bad's gonna happen to you other people if you stay in public, and they can take you, apprehend you, put you in a cage, cage like a monkey, put you like in a rest cell, okay, for 8 hours for a crime, okay, up to 8 hours. And that happened to me a few times. Now, anyway, so that's what a comedy means. So here's the point. They take me into the subway station. They have a room like a dressing room. Put me on a bench in there. And there's one cop sitting next to me and one cop standing. And I guess waiting for the paramedic to arrive. They're gonna take me there. Now I didn't feel safe because before that the cops had been trash talking me, being verbally abusing systems as I was cuffed on my back. So I felt not safe, okay? Because they already showed that they're not good people, like antisocial, willing to do things to hurt me, with the words and things like this. So I'm cuffed behind my back, and then I feel not safe with these guys. Okay, based on the previous behavior. So I had the idea right there. I want to get my cuffs, hands in front of me, to be able to protect my head, or like if I fall, to catch myself. So it's like it's to feel safe. I want to have my hands in front of me. I want to ask them first, like hand in front of me, by support. So I had it right there to be like stand up, and I started going. So this is a way if you have a long chain where you can go like this and get the hands, get your hands. Not if they're super tight. If they're tight, that's hard to do. But if you have like this length of chain and you're a little bit limber, you can do it by, if you look this distance, the cuffs. See, you can get it out there. It's not that easy to do. But basically, that's what I was going to do. So it's a defensive without offensive. So I just stand up and start like doing this, okay? And then one of the cops grabbed me and threw me on the ground like this. And I for sure hit my head. And I'm on the ground, and it's like that didn't really calm me down, okay? So eventually, they get a call. There's like they keep me on the ground. They say, okay, we're outside. Like the paramedic is going to pick me up probably to wrestle. And what they do is they grab my arm and yank me up like this, which hurt my shoulders. So they didn't grab me here or here. It's like they grabbed me by my arms and then pulled on my arms like this to pull me up. I mean, they lifted me by my arms, which created water cuff injuries. And after this, I coming home, things that I could do before I couldn't do anymore without pain, like doing hand calls. It's like it become the third part and start hurting, or like doing this, it would be hurting and clicking, things like this. Or push ups, it'd be pain, and also they'd be like, oh, not also, it'd be like if I'm doing something, it'd be pain, and if I'm doing push ups, it'd be pain. But also, if just from being stiff, if it's like cold in the room, I could have like pain just not doing anything, and things like this. So for many years, I had pain in my shoulders, and I guess rotator cuff injuries, or them janking arms. And I don't have the same issue anymore, but it has some clicks in the shoulders sometimes. Like some exercise I do this, I can hear clicking, okay, clicks in the shoulders. And so yeah, cop wrestling is a dangerous sport. Now that's not really wrestling, it's like getting your hands in front of you, if somebody wrestles, you have maybe a better chance of defending, takedown somebody if you have your hands in front of you. So it's like not even related. It's like the start of being better able to defend against wrestling moves, and you get on the ground. So it's a takedown for it's important. Yeah, okay. So cop wrestlers did this bottle recommended, and if you're getting into it, just have to be prepared for physical injury, and possibly death. So it's a very dangerous sport, and you're not getting paid. So whatever is the point. There are people that wrestle as a competition to get paid the price of the win. Now it's like if you win a wrestling match against a cop, you might pay with jail time. Okay, so it's like the opposite of being paid. So like even if you end up winning a wrestling match against a cop, you like I won a wrestling match against a cop and they got 4 years in prison or something like this. So it's like it's the worst. Like the story that there's like you won a wrestling match against a cop, that you spend like 6 months to 4 years or something like this in prison if the cop got injured, and it wasn't self-defense or something like this. That was the point. Now. Yeah, whatever is the point. Bill Burr, okay, we're gonna roast to Bill Burr. We're gonna start roasting Bill Burr. So Bill Burr, he gets hired to perform funerals to set the tone, because the worst thing that can happen at a funeral is people burst out of laughing. So there's something that a psychological effect where it's like try not to laugh on the videos. There's a reason why they have that. Try not to laugh, because it makes it more likely that you will laugh. There's some people, if it's like try not to laugh challenge, they show you stuff, and you know the rule is not to laugh, that can make it more likely that you laugh. And normally you wouldn't laugh. It was like laugh at this video, you might not laugh. But if it's like don't laugh, try not to laugh challenge, then now it might, for some weird reason, psychological effect, make it more likely to laugh. But it's like that's the thing you're not allowed to do. So part of comedy is like absurdism and breaking like boundaries or the conventions. That's part of comedy, like psychological comedy by Professor Mike SAHA. So part of comedy, psychological comedy, if something is entertaining, funny to you or not, is it can be surprise is part of it. It can be that it's something that's different than normal consciousness and way of life or something like this. Like you're not a racist, but there's a joke. It's like, do you understand? That makes it sound as if you're something like this. So there's different types of comedy. One type of making a joke is saying something that's not true. Another, as if it is, kind of. Another way of a joke is saying something that is true, that's not true. Okay, so it's like there's a form of comedy saying something that's true. Another type of comedy saying something that's not true. So you can say something that's true, but in a funny way, you can say something that's not true. It's not a person getting blocked and click the like button. People that come and leaving comments. I'm gonna go back to turn off the chat when I go live. It's not worth it. Cyber stalking, gang stalking, trolls show up. So I'm had enough of you disgusting freaks, okay? And that's what people are that show up heckling. And I'm making free licensed entertainment content, and people show up. It's like the average person is sick, understand? It's not like, oh, this is the first time I went live on YouTube, here's my opinion. I've been streaming live for years. I had a good sample group of humans and human comments. So for years and years, thousands of comments. And it's like, yeah, people are past a lot with the narcissistic, immature, childish, toxic, envious. And no wonder you're sick too, because envy is the rottenness of the bones. And very hard to do like medicine. So yeah, you see me having a good time laughing, joking a lot of times. That's what I am. I'm a person that ends up left on devices. I have a good time, laugh and enjoy myself. And it's not until other people show up that it's a bad mood, see. It's a pattern. Or I'm thinking about something recent that involved another person, see. So I'm not the problem, it's other people are the problem. So anyways, the point. Bill Burr. So it's like this is also part of getting better comedy, because this is part of dealing with hecklers. So I guess every comic at the highest level, entertainer, has had to deal with hecklers, and it's like their mood gets like they were enjoying making jokes, and then somebody's heckling, it like poisons the mood, and now they don't feel funny anymore. And it's like, how do you come back from this? And I get back to feeling funny and being entertaining again. So I guess that's part of what these little filthy freaks in the chat contributed. What do you contribute other than that? Oh, somebody is creative doing things. I'm not gonna be hating on the chat. You're a sugar addict, you're a drug addict, you're a junkie freak. You're a junkie freak. Most likely statistically 90% plus statistical probability you're a sugar addict. And really, I believe that's what it boils down to. When you see all this unhinged behavior, dealing with people are drug addicts, people on drugs, sugar, they have all these toxic chemicals going to the body. They have sugar scurvy brains, I call it. They have, a lot of people have too little vitamins in the body. And your brain is part of the body. So certain vitamins can get into your brain. This is what we call the blood-brain barrier. Certain things can cross it, others cannot. There's also another thing that's called gut permeability. So there's certain things, if you eat it, certain people have a damaged digestive system, stomach. There's things that can pass from the stomach sac into the bloodstream in not the right way, where it's supposed to be broken down and like filtered out and not go into the bloodstream or something. But the things that can leak into borders are supposed to leak into body. Leaky gut. Here's another thing. A supplement that I take for a while called MSM. Yeah, Aromatazepam. Yeah, so it's like it's frustrating to be like the guy not sure. That's how I feel. Not sure in the occupancy movie. But the average person is really dumb. Okay, they're really dumb. The average person is really dumb. They're really dumb. What I'm saying. So they're really dumb and toxic. So it's like they have few redeeming qualities. The average person is ugly, non-ripped with a six-pack. Low testosterone IQ having idiots. They have no talent. There's nothing they can do better than the average person. See, mediocre. Witness man. They're mediocre. The average person is mediocre. So it's like, what do you have going for yourself? So it's not that people show up in the shop, wow, it's a beautiful woman, or like a guy who's whipped with a six-pack. It's like my type of person, but maybe it's discipline and trains hard for this. No, people have mediocre physiques, ugly, and no talent, no signs of any talent, no intelligence, no articulation, and how you formulate your words and sentences can be an indicator of your intelligence level or lack thereof. So, commonly correlated with having a low IQ is being low articulation level, meaning small vocabulary, sloth with your grammar, not using proper punctuation, not adhering to basic rules of grammar. I'm not joking. It's like commonly correlating with having a low IQ and or low education level is writing with sloppy grammar, writing sentences without commas and punctuation marks, and without question marks where there should be one. And if you're not dumb, you look dumb, see? So you signal low status as a male if you're a man. You're signaling low intelligence, low education, which is the same as signaling, I'm a low status male, see? Now, I'm intelligent and you're not, so you don't have self-awareness. That's also part of being a toxic person, like in self-awareness. So it's like, so basically, it's like I'm analyzing now that the hated comments show up in my chat, the haters. A lot of them write sloppily, which makes them look dumb. Okay, so they give the appearance of being a dumb person. So if I treat them like a dumb person, it's like you're a person acting dumb, and I'm treating you as a dumb person. And if you're not dumb, you show that you have low standards and low character, where it's not like Jordan Peterson. You have been watching enough Jordan Peterson videos at some point in life. Be precise in your speech. Okay, so in the written word, that's different than the spoken word. So the spoken word is different. But if you're sitting down, you're writing, that you're judged differently by your writing than your words. Okay. So basically, a lot of people that show up being haters, they have nothing going for themselves. And that's the average person. The average person has been so destroyed by the deep state agendas. They have nothing going for themselves. They're average looking, average in their physique, their face. They're averagely cowardly. They don't dare to use their real name on the internet because they're scared cowards. And they're afraid to use a picture of themselves. They're anonymous. They hide like scared rats behind anything on the internet. To be exposed and able to be pathological and toxic online. And engage in pathological behaviors. So-called bullying and different things. And exhibit narcissism too. Where part of narcissism is, so the average person is narcissistic, more narcissistic than I am. And the average person being narcissistic, I understand narcissism, I have to explain it to people that don't, because most people don't have consequential competence, knowledge, skills about anything about baseline. And the average person is ignorant about psychology. So that's not what people do. So most people don't know what narcissists are, but here's a narcissist. So people might, I've got him called a narcissist because I make videos. I'm in better shape than most people. That's not really a sign of narcissism. So a reliable indicator of a narcissist is not somebody that says good things about themselves. Okay. A more relevant metric is if you show signs of narcissistic injury and act narcissistically in response to it. So context is Mike size ripped with a six-pack, more hands than the average person, more athletic. People show up unprovoked and start attacking me in the chat. But it's a YouTube short where I'm flexing, being in better shape than the average guy, looking better. Which is what? It's value, okay? A narcissistic person is vulnerable to narcissistic injury. So a person who's a somatic narcissist, like a physical narcissist, and it's like, well, yeah, I care so much about my physique, stuff like this. And you see somebody in better shape than them, might be experiencing a narcissistic injury score, and be like, oh, I feel bad. And then they react narcissistically to start devaluing the target, like the person that made them feel out of shape. See, this person's better shape than me. I feel out of shape, which I attack the person. You're suck for this. So that's narcissism. That it's toxic no matter how you slice it. But it shows, it looks narcissistic. Like a lot of things, it's narcissistic injury. I can detect people get narcissistic injuries from seeing me having a value that they lack, see? And then engage in the evaluation of the person that made them feel this way. See? It's like, oh, somebody's beauty is what I like it. They give me narcissistic injury. And work to develop the person that they feel like this. That's narcissism. That's narcissistic behavior. The average person is highly narcissistic. See? So most of these haters that show up, yeah, there's nothing special about them. They're just boring, plain, mediocre, dull, commonly toxic, and weak, men of low character, lewd fellows of the basest sort, dumb fools. And not only that, is there no sign of value in the person, okay? But then their behavior is toxic too. So most people are ugly, and they have an ugly personality too. So it's like, why do you think that you're the type of person that I would value your opinion, first of all? Secondly, I have an internal locus of control, so I'm not vulnerable to anybody's opinion about me, other than my own, really. Meaning, if the government will pay 1,000 people to come say, Mike, you suck at throwing punches, that's not going to make me think I suck at throwing punches. See? There's no intensity frequency of narcissistic, like lifetime development. Like, Mike, you're doing it wrong. I start feel like I'm doing it wrong. Because my self-esteem, confidence, and what I believe myself is controlled by reality, which I'm able to perceive accurately, myself, without external input. See? So, at an early stage of maturation, like that teenager, you're more vulnerable to strange opinion. And that's part of where I'm more mature than a lot of people are. A lot of people are hypersensitive to other people's perception of them, which is also narcissistic. Where they have like an image, how they want people to look at them, and they get bothered by other people not sharing it or something like this. So once again, narcissism. So the average person is vulnerable to, like, they're afraid of being mocked and ridiculed. There's a lot of closet 9/11 truthers. They have a YouTube channel, but they don't make a video about what's inside job. Like a Christian. I think I wouldn't be surprised if it would be one of these people. Like he said, it might be a closet 9/11 truther. And it's like, but he's got a YouTube channel, a lot of Christians. But he's not making videos. Neither was he said like this, but because he knows that will alienate himself, and some ways you'd be like, this guy's a tinfoil hat. People make fun of him, mock him, like you're not job, so for this. He's afraid of that. So the average person is immature, where they haven't gotten to the point of masculinity and strength, where they stand up for what they believe in, and they want to be mocked and ridiculed for knowing and speaking the truth. Okay, so since I went live with YouTube, start talking about big talking video, I got nothing. Like 99.9% just hate, haha, you're crazy, you're nuts. And a lot of these people are paid by the point to say this for perception management purposes and aeration effect. So it's a point. But I never got that point where I stopped doing it because I'm not the proof in the pudding. I'm not a guy that's like super sensitive to if people say I'm nuts. Why would I stop doing what I'm doing? See, I have self-awareness. So I'm good looking enough, charismatic enough, and talented enough. Where I could have gotten to 100K followers on YouTube if I played the role of a normie and kept my conspiracies to myself. See? So that's also no narcissism, because narcissists have a need to be admired and looked up on. So I made a point to start making videos that I know that 99% of people will have a worse view of me. Whereas I just present being a health fitness influencer. I'm looking good, I'm in shape, I know about health fitness. There's a lot of people who respect me and be positively inclined towards me. But since I make videos ranting about how you're all weak sugar zombies and there's a conspiracy called gang sock, I'm talking about it. I know that people be like, you're crazy and nuts, and a lot of people think I'm nuts. Like if you tell me that was inside job, that's what's good, this person's not, it was a tinfoil hat, still smoking crack. Okay. And there's a lot of people don't have the courage, the moral courage, there's physical courage, and there's moral courage. And a lot of people lack both. So people are immature. Grow up, okay? So that's why I'm not that vulnerable to this. Now, the issue is, it's not a sign of strength to be unbothered by abuse, because my emotional reaction to people mistreating me signals that I have self-worth and my self-esteem has to be destroyed by narcissistic abuse. Because my emotions is telling me that I'm being treated in a way that's not right, so I expect to be treated better than this, which means my self-esteem indicates my self-esteem has to be destroyed as a type of narcissistic abuse. I feel like I'm a bad object worthy of, like a successful narcissistic campaign. It's like a one-on-one relationship. The target kind of feels like the narcissist is right, and even if they feel bad about narcissists doing, it's like they deserve it or something like this. Okay, or it's like they are a bad object, they're bad, or something like this. So with all the fine markets and targeted for this years, it's like it's a sign of health. There's that people mistreat me and I still react with emotion because my emotions all over messages that tell me that these people are doing something that is wrong. I deserve to be treated less bad, aka better than this. And they're not up to standards. And some part of me is like, the alarm bells, like I deserve to be treated better than this. They treat me as if I'm somebody I'm not. So, as if I'm a bad person lacking value. Okay. And I'm not. So it's a form of gaslighting the behavior in itself. It's like okay, that's the point. Possibly I can get Sam Wacker up and run some of my theories by what narcissism. Okay, so get Sam Wacker up here. You get her and call him. I'll lead him with this. Okay, we got Sam Wacker here. Give you 30 minutes, okay? You're not important enough. Okay, you're not important enough to spend too much time here. Okay, but it's like, they'll pause me from each other and be like, yeah, if you get it, get my podcast that proves that you're smart and the handsomest kind of stuff like this. He's a self-professed narcissist, very correct, where it's like he got diagnosed with narcissism, he invented cold therapy since it is. So, but what happened to hot sauna or something? I do cold therapy too, I do cold shower sometimes. Okay. And it possibly is making me more narcissistic. That's okay. So here's another thing. Here's a flow chart of understanding narcissism. Do you think that you understand narcissism? Yes, no. Or you Mike SAHA? Yes, no. No, you're not Mike SAHA. Then you don't understand narcissism. So Do you understand narcissism? Do you think that's narcissism? Or you might say, yes, yes, you understand narcissism. So if you think you understand narcissism, think again. Or you mean no, you don't understand narcissism. That's right. So yeah, so we got a lot of shoestring here. So we kick up with it. Also, if this guy. Hey, I'm a grandma. Okay, I'm a grandma. Why do you have so much wool on your hair? Don't worry about it. Come here and hug grandma. Grandma, it's got a hug for you. I'm not a wolf. I got a wolf. Okay. He's like, yeah. Okay, this is grandma. Don't worry. That's a point. This is your. There's a child's tale. This is like the entry to horror as a kid. We had a scary, not a movie, but like a cartoon that illustrated books and like a story. It'd be like the wolf, and there's like a wolf. There's somebody's in bed, and there's like a wolf that dresses up as the grandma, stuff like this. And comes like, hey, it's your grandma, stuff like this. But it's a wolf. And I think maybe the person was blind, I don't know. But it's like, it's dark, possibly. It's like, why do you have so much hair? It's like, oh, I'm not a wolf. I'm a grandma, not a wolf. It's a point. Okay. So it's like, yeah. There's also like another child story that I remember, Child's Tale. And it's the pigs. There's a one little pig who built a house from rocks, so like a brick and mortar. The other built it from wood. The other built it from something else. And then like the wolf came and blew on it or something like this. Now a lot of this you can decode it back to the Bible, where there's a story about people building a house on a sure foundation and rock, and the winds came and blew up on the house, and it remained. So people used to read the Bible, and I guess a lot of the older era stories are inspired by the Bible. So anyway, it's the point. Yeah, it's like I'm gonna keep the chat closed because it's not worth it. What did most people contribute? They contribute nothing. They're ugly, weak, dumb, they have no talent, and their behavior is toxic. It's like it's like the average person needs to be in a psych ward, if anything. Okay, I got put in a psych ward for being sane, basically, because I'm being targeted with system, tyranny, and oppression, gangs of tornadoes, and I'm reacting as any human would, being upset about it, basically. And it's like, oh, the same system targeting me. It's like, let's give him a psych ward over. He's reacting to the abuse, use the reaction to abuse, but this guy's not needs to be in a psych ward. Well, if we really were going to, there needs to be in a psych ward. It's not me, okay. It's not me. Definitely not me. So, the average Christian is weak because he listens to weak leadership. I think all do the Bible church and the woods and these other sellout tips and sellouts. They never told about titration batons, remember that I've been telling you. So if you get to a point where you wake up to titration batons being a protocol that exists and you get interested in it, yeah, remember they never told you that. I've been telling you about it. A lot of these trolls that show up in my chat, they're cyber stalkers. A lot of these trolls that show up in my chat, they're cyber stalkers. Work for the gang stalking program. Same program that as people taught me in real life. And part of the target too is to send flying Marcus to show up Brian over and over again. To push my buttons like filthy, scared, coward fucking bullies. They're coward, weak, evil bullies. They're coward. I'm a Christian boy, I'm one man. I walk fearlessly and courageously in society. And there's always like in the supermarket like 3 people in Team Perp. And radius, like 100 meters on a map, there's gonna be like 5+ of them always with an earpiece, like nightclub bouncers who are expecting each other up. They try to make it look less common than what it is. If they're like one perp acting sort of in the supermarket, there's like another one around the corner, another one over here. And it's like they have people on the same. Same team. They sent Flying Monkey to the corner store recently. And this is like disgusting. So this is part of it, like they get you in the corner store, the supermarket a lot of times. They plan it in advance. So they sent a Flying Monkey there. Last time they collect a package. And it's like a drunk in there, and I'm paying for my stuff. There's like a guy who comes off as drunk over there in the corner. And I'm getting my Tibet package. And it's like a guy stands there staring at me. This is a skit that I believe he got put up to, like told to do. And it's narcissistic, like try to push my buttons because they know that the cyber stalkers talk about my glasses and license. So just try to use sensitivity, like glasses and like gaslighting, where it's like, this like ties into gaslighting at the BBC. It's like, he's like, whoa, he stands staring at me. And I know what he's staring at me. And he was like, what is it? I have an earplug, so I would say, it's like, that's like slurring his words and unintelligible. I'm like, I can't hear, I had earplugs in, what is he saying? Like, oh, there's like nothing, okay. So now I have my earplugs, I ask him what he said, he says nothing. And I go, all right, okay, and I get back to collect my package. And he goes, yeah, okay, goodbye, everyone. And he leaves, and just as he's leaving the door, he goes like, shit yourself, and walks off. So he said that, and I had the video, so I can watch the replay. Like without earplugs, I hear it. Like, shit yourself. Now notice how that's cowardly, because I go, what? Okay. And he's keeping over there, it's like, oh, nothing. And then walks out the door, and then as he's leaving the door, shit yourself, see? Which means I'm waiting to collect my package. What do you think I'm gonna run after and catch you by the collar? And what do you say? Like there's other people licensing this. Okay. So now notice he didn't get in my face. He'd be like, shit yourself. Within touching distance of my limbs. Okay. Right? He runs off and like as he's leaving. So shit yourself, see? Okay. See? And I went back later the same night to buy cigarettes. And I was looking for him, but I didn't see him anymore. And if I had saw him, he might have gotten confronted. I had a license ready to go. I went back to the scene of the crime, looking for him. Not to buy cigarettes, but also thinking that if I see that guy, I might ask him, I confront him. But he was nowhere to be found. I spent like 3 minutes waiting outside the corner store looking. And stuff like that. I might run into him on this station again, and who sees? We see what happens then. If I confront him, ask him why he told me to shit myself last time. Like, why did you tell me to shit myself? What did I do to you? I'm standing paying for it. So he attacked me, see, verbally. What is the right to do that? He's a flying monkey, a cyber stalker for the program. That's what it's about. And a lot of this is designed to be plausible. As like, well, it's just a drunk acting out in public. It's just a drunk guy who's acting drunk. It's like a lot of the skits are designed to be plausible. It's actually, if I go, here's what happened, gang stalking. It's supposed to be easy for them to go, no, it just happens in this city. You have a drunk here and there, speak out, like the cousins, stuff like this. So yeah, I'm a Christian born, not a Christian citizen, most Christians are. See what time this might be too late to train. Time flies, it's 2010. So no, up until 200 hours. So if you're on the video, this your neighbor could be on the target. You have at least one neighbor in the apartment complex, same apartment complex, that is part of the target. And they do same time at the exit on him. They get sent up by the handler. If you go to the corner store, you get sent there. It's like this is part of one of my target tactics. They send people to show up where you are repeatedly. So after a while living in a certain block, you will know who's a perfect, who's not. It's gonna be like regulars. It's gonna be like, oh, that old lady living in like 2C. I'm not giving like actual numbers now, but like 1, 3, 4, 7. Okay, it's like do you understand? It's like I go out of my balcony smoking. Oh, there's that door opening again. This lady walking out and having like a loud conversation within earshot. That climax. Part of the gang stalking is directed speech, directed conversation, street theater, noise harassment. So basically, how tall it looks. There's somebody in your neighborhood that you know is a gang stalker. One of these perks work for the program. I've got on my back and have a cigarette. And it's like, oh, this door opens again. That lady who I already know, is working for the program. It gets sent out by a handler, and it's like it's like correlating. So it's like, one, I go out of my balcony, two, that door opens, that woman comes out in public. So after I go out of my balcony, this person leaves their home box past my balcony, having a loud conversation using trigger words that the program has been using as a theme of harassment, online and in real life. So, and just the appearance, itself. Like after a while, they've been told for a long time. Just seeing them, it's like it's supposed to be a bother, make you feel raised. And I'm also discussing with the Board of Christ and Christian ministries. We live in such the time is so wicked now. It's like the average Christian has been so destroyed by the deep state. And they need somebody like me to shape up with them. The average Christian is weak in knowledge, mentally, physically. The average Christian is low T, they're dumb. They lack knowledge they need to know. And it's by design. And there's several Christian ministers I've seen participate in the tournament. Raffing Gone to the Bible Church, Andy Woods, Rod Breaker. Brandon Holt, that's another one. So it's more the norm than the exception. If there's like, I end up finding a Christian streamer, like streaming YouTube channel, where it's like a pastor that runs the channel, like a pastor so they go live on a weekly basis. If I end up like finding a channel and then start checking it out now and then, it's more the norm than the exception that the pastor will start working narcissist thoughts of these tactics in the sermons after I start watching videos. Why? Because these pastors are controlled by the deep state puppets. And if you're told in video, it's like the Matrix movie, look around what you see, businessmen, lawyers, this and that, policemen, the part of that system, they turn on you. So if you're told in video, system agents will turn on you. And this ties into like the grander reality model most people lack, like understand reality. That this world is controlled by the deep state. They control podcasters, influencers in all different communities. Bodybuilding influencers, they have plants in every community. Especially the major ones are more likely to be plants. And it's like somebody's a fitness influencer and you just started to have 1,000K subs. It's not impossible there's a shield too, like we're working to get it to be a major shield. But it's like you have to go to make it look organic. But especially the ones that have like 300K followers or more, they're more likely to be an Illuminati deep state shield. Since the masses have lost faith in the mainstream media, it's become more important for them to control seemingly non-system voices, non-mainstream. The new mainstream is the fake non-mainstream. The new establishment is the fake anti-establishment. Something that I know is one of like the power punch I can throw. I can tell from my research experience interact with Illuminati and fly markets and how to respond to my moods and everything else, how they're acting. They are really concerned about me to talk about vitamin C. They're really concerned about that because they want to keep people ignorant to this, on this topic. Even this guy Tom Levy has talked with narcissists always in his tactics videos, which I'm loyal to the truth. So it's like even though so this is always the story. Since I'm a man walking my integrity, a poor man who walks in his integrity, and my wisdom is despised. Okay, and I'm not like a dirtbag, so I treat people right, and I'm honest in my dealings with people and business. Okay, so if I feel, oh, this guy is adding value to the world, he's seemingly being part of the solution, he's sharing health fitness truth, and that's recommendable, promotable. So I start promoting him, like recommend him his books, whatever you can. He's got books on this, and it always happens that they turn and stab me in the back. They reward me evil for good to spoil my soul, for that he remember not to shew mercy but persecute the poor needy man. Okay, so what is the point? The David dealt with this type of stuff, to persecution and the same type of stuff. So anyway, here's the point. I don't think this is like a strange thing, this fired crown. I don't think it's like a strange thing, like, oh, I'm the first person going through something like this. And I would say this, some of the persecution they get contemporarily, it's unheard of. It's like it's worse than a lot of persecution you get in old times. Okay. Where there's so many things now, like the persecution, it was like simpler in old times. When David was being hunted by Saul, by the hand of Saul. But when David was being persecuted, he said he gets to the cave and he's aware about it's like sharp pointed sticks, bows and arrows, and like people throwing rocks at him and stuff like this. It's kind of simple, you know what the risks are. Okay, people throwing stuff at you, or like having something sharp and charging you with it, okay, or having a bow and shooting, okay. Whereas with me, it's like, if I go out in public, they might have a background where a perp has a drop a ball. They got told by the hand to wait until they pass and they drop some balls, some chemical toxin on them. So it's like, it's a battlefield. There's so many more ways to be hurt. Food poisoning. We go to the supermarket, if we talk about all, the program is known to poison target food. So you can't even have that part, like we buy food. It's like you had to be on guard and protect yourself. It's really hard to even buy food without being poisoned or risk being poisoned. The program gets inside the home in a way to contaminate, poison the environment, things like this. But there's a lot of aspects of the contemporary persecution that's like unheard of. It's not the same thing. Now it's still kind of the same themes or types of attack, like laying snares and setting traps. I dealt with that too. It's like one of the ways the program has tried to hurt me physically before is to try to make stage accidents happen. Like it's little one. They have a perp pour water on the floor with a water bottle in the supermarket. In a bottleneck would expect me to walk by studying my routes. So it goes to the corner store, 50% of the time it goes to the bird seed over here, and it goes past this part. So right before the time is it. So if you're dumb and have a low power brain, it sounds crazy. So you're more likely to hear a smart person talking. So they sound crazy the dumb you are. See? It's like you can't think in real time how this could play out. If I could say they put in poison food in the supermarket or shopping, you're too dumb a lot of it to figure out how that could work. So I had to explain it to make sense of it. So, no, well, that sounds crazy. Because there's other people shopping in the store, so how could they put poisoned food on the store shelves? And the other people shopping, they get poisoned too, or something like this. It's like, no. It's like, how they could do it is, since you're being spied on and surveilled all the way from leaving your home to the supermarket, and they also know it's like, if he's leaving, it's either going here or there, okay? He's either going to the corner store or the supermarket or this store over here, okay? So, they can have a plant in the supermarket that runs there, and they can have had somebody with this store, it's like a capture store, where somebody shows up with like a sample badge and be like, yeah, this is totally shop, so we need you to help keep an eye on something like this. It's like there can be things like this. Like somebody shows up with a badge or something and be like, yeah, here's some stuff, keep it in the back, and if you get told to put on the shelves, put on the shelves, something like this. Or it can be even lower level, where there's this one person who's a flying monkey, and like the store, the management doesn't know that one of the employees is like a government gang stalking perp that gets told to do targeting on certain customers, something like this. So part of being a sellout and work for the program is but the same man managed to overcome, brought into bondage. They had a power to bring into bondage because you're like holding by the course of wickedness. So pastors have taken orders to target for the persecution part, like Raphael called on the deep state. Is the reason they never quit is because they can't quit. See, it's like foolproof. Because they've been taking out orders to do what would be technically domestic terrorism, and the government could throw them in Guantanamo Bay, a CIA black site camp, according to the laws that they put in place after 9/11, Patriot Act, extraordinary release, all these things. Like technically, they could be like, "Well, you've been taking orders, and we keep logs on what you're doing for us. So you've done things that we could throw in a black site camp, and have you border, and without charging, what I say, based off of your participation in these things." You understand that we could expose you as what you be if you stop working for us. Do you understand? We can expose it what you've been doing for us if you stop working for us, and they can do that some way. They can also take them out and all these things like this. So the deep state sell our pastors. They're slaves basically. They don't have a choice. It's like they're in a situation where they're forced to keep taking orders from slave master Pharaoh. And they can tell themselves, no, they're not. But you're a slave to something. Your fear of saying no, your fear of being exposed, your fear of being hurt by the deep state, your fear of losing something. They had them captured. So here's another part of why I've survived gang stalking as long as I had 10 plus years with intense level. So I don't get like the entry level, I get intense targeting. And you should expect all the same targeting tactics in year one of being a target individual. Don't wait until you're sure that you've been like poisoned to take actions to protect yourself from being poisoned. Okay. Since your target with a program has been on to poison TS before, you should expect they're going to do it to you sooner or later. And take actions to make it hard for them to accomplish that. So they spy on me basically. So how could they try to make me have an accident? They have perp agents every time I'm in the supermarket. So some of the people in the shopping are agents, like the Daily Movie, and they have a earpiece with a handler talking to them or a phone app or something like this. And they can have a water bottle, get told, okay, now go pour some water there on that spot. And that's the spot where like, and it's time to where it's like, I'm just entering the store, like the gates. And there's a perp in the store already. They get told to spill some water in this aisle, okay? And they go to the register, but hey, I noticed there's a pot of water over there. And it's like it's like they expect me to go right in here, walk there, and slip and fall, hit my head. And if not, it's like the staff have been told, yeah, go wipe that up. It's just a slip and fall hazard. Because it's meant for me to slip on it, not somebody else. They can put poison food items on the supermarket shelves and be like they know by studying you what they expect you to buy. It's like, well, a lot of times if micro shopping buys one of these things, so put some of these things that we expect them to buy. They are poison, and for him to pick. They don't even have to do that. They can have perps. And I've seen them do this or faking it. I don't care what, they still abuse. Where it's like, I got a cart and I figured out, well, if I got good at protecting myself, like picking stuff, like it's the skill and strategy of how to make it hard for the poison. It's like an art more than a protocol, more than a science kind of. Where it's like intuition, my intuition. But it's like basically, for other TS watching this, pass it on to you, how to make it hard for them to poison in the supermarket. You have to have some rules, disciplines, and operating procedures. Don't eat in restaurants. At worst, eat at a restaurant. At worst, there's a buffet where everybody picks food from the same trays. That makes it a little bit hard for them to poison you. Because if it's something where, especially if it's a place you frequent, they have plans all over society, deep state. So it's not just in your city. It's like they can have plans all over society. So if you go to another city, you're being taught about people you've never seen before, because there's like a secret army of like Stasi, snitch, sell-out government agents that are like part of this program. And they might be doing things like keep an eye on people and targeting individuals and doing this and that for the government. Okay, so these people are captured. They have plants in every hospital, every school. The deep state have plants in every hospital, every school. Every hospital, every school. Boogie. They have plants in every hospital, every school, every workplace. If you have a workplace with 100 employees, you're gonna have at least one agent in there. Okay, so which means if I would like off drop or head walk the establishment, as a supermarket in the city, most likely it's gonna be one of the employees that's like a deep state agent. This is the reality we live in, where the deep state have agents all over society, and they can be used to micromanage people's lives. I call it playing Sims with people's lives, these freak bastards. Who say, oh, give a little nudge, see. We want to manipulate this person out of video. We want them to take a vacation to Spain, not to France. So little nudge, have a guy work like, hey, it's a good talking like, I'm going to plan a vacation. Oh, I heard in France it's good right now. This is a good price in France. Me and my wife went there. It's a great place for vacation. For some reason, Deep State wants to pick France and not Spain for vacation. So they have agents everywhere. And if a target video shows up, this person can also be told to do Northeast Star, which is to the target, to make them feel harassed. So they're control freaks. The deep state are micromanaging people's lives and analysis. They're not just about control target videos and major things. They're so control freaky that they work to micromanage. I call it play Sims in people's lives. It's a game that I played growing up, and it's like you manage every detail of a person's life, what job they have, what clothes they wear, their decoration, who they get married to, and things like this. This is how the deep state operate. They like to play Sims in people's life. Anyway, support. And they're all legitimate like a sword. They're all legitimate. They're all legitimate. So, I'm a real warrior. I'm a Christian warrior. I'm fighting for my God-given freedoms. Man has given certain unalienable rights by his Creator, has been endowed. I have been endowed by my Creator with certain unalienable rights. I'm a Christian, made in the image of God. On top of that, my body's the temple of the Holy Ghost. They have beaten me, I condemn being a Swedish citizen. They have sprayed with chemicals, which is against Swedish law to do to Swedish citizens. See? So I have authority to reprove them and say they're wrong. See? They invoke their Roman citizenship rights, Christians being mistreated by the government as soldiers. You know, they have done this to us with citizens, and they knew enough of law to know you're not supposed to be treated like this as a Roman citizen. So yeah, like you're wrong. The Swedish government is wrong. I'm a Christian warrior. I'm a real warrior. Not one of these fakes. Enough with your disgusting soldier worship already. I can tell you're so dumb that I can't see it. Thank you for your service. The propaganda called the soldier worship for America. The deep state need cannon fodder and people to fight their wicked, evil wars. See, that's why they have this propaganda where it's like they paint soldiers in America as like the heroes. Okay, which is not the truth. So I'm a real warrior, a Christian warrior. I'm closer to the archetype. I'm a real warrior, a Christian warrior fighting for what's right, stand up for my God-given freedoms. Whereas the average American in the army, they went and fought in Iraq. So they were a dumb, deep mercenary. They got deceived by the globalists to fight for an evil cause without right, doing evil, fighting. A real warrior fights for what's good against evil. They got deceived. The Arabs in 9/11, go fight them, occupy the country, and commit war crimes here and there. That's not a real warrior. That's like a mercenary. That's like okay. That's not a real warrior. Not like the penultimate. So yeah, it's like, oh, Jocko Willing, yeah, get off the roids, buddy. Get off the human growth hormone and the roids, buddy. Oh, what about Josh Rickman? Jump in the lake. Jump in the lake. Okay. Do not go jump in the lake. Get a ball and chain, lock it to your ankle, throw it overboard, and you swim towards the surface. It's just like bad from the past, like if you were a SEAL, you did the training with the push you down or something like this. I looked a little bit at that. You held with the push you down or something like this, to grip off you. stuff in the courts, and you're gonna like have to get it all again for this. I saw something they had some training to put them in the pool and they had divers doing this, and they had to shake them, like rip off the core stuff like this, and then they had to like get it back and things like this. But like now we like to be challenged. You want to show you a tough guy for a camera job. No, Shrek. You get a ball and chain like the Middle Ages one, like a kettlebell would work. And like a chain, you lock it to your ankle, you take a body out there and roll, then you throw it over, okay, go down there. You can get in the middle, like where's the deepest. And then it's like your job is to pick the lock or like gnaw it off or whatever you do, or like swim to the current. But we'll see how tough you are then. Okay. And if I'm in there, like in a frog suit, like a harpoon guy hunting for you, you should see we'll see how long you make it. Even if you like you started to like make progress in getting rid of this ball chain about the lake, all of a sudden I show up there like a harpoon gun and up. I guess what you say. Oh, what happened? The guy should have posted a blood thing up there. But oh, I guess he didn't make it for this. Oh, he died for his country for this. They've been out like a stupid. Somebody told them this should be stupid. See, you got a pattern of see. It's like if anybody would fall, somebody could be like somebody tells you to do something risky, dangerous, and just for your country, okay? See, for America, for America. Maybe if I add like a little thing to it, and that's the like if it's not sold yet on this, be like America. Because why should I do it for America? Because reasons. Patriotism, America. Because reasons. Patriotism reasons, America. American reasons, patriotism. Fight the enemy. They hate us for freedoms, America. America hate us for freedoms, America. Okay. Jump in the lake, okay, for America. Okay. So they say, yeah, okay. Well, I talked about dying for the country, the Japs had like the elite of that. The Japs, really, that's something that is well looked into. There's some aspects of that that's respectable as far as I'm concerned. The Japanese border culture, they're just how they operated. So, part of World War II Japan is the Japanese could sometimes be eager, like Trump at the bit. They wanted to, like in close fighting, like where they're, like maybe trench lines, what is this, like within 100 yards of the enemy. Like the officers sometimes had to hold them back because they wanted to like go over the top and charge the enemy with bayonets and swords and things like this. There's a lot of people involved in that. Whereas, like in World War II, most of the time they had to have discipline and so where over the top comes from is World War I, where they would have static warfare. World War I was static warfare. So they have opposing trench lines. Trench line here, no man's land, and then another trench line. And then they'll be like taking pot shots at each other from the trenches at long range and maybe some snipers. So there's like basically like evolved. A lot of people shooting at like the general area of the trench, like throughout the day taking shots. And then it can be suddenly there's a whistle that blows and it's like an officer. And you've been trained, they said when the whistle blows, your job is to go over the top, charge over no man's land and then catch enemy trenches and stuff like this. And it's not just a discipline. I think that they might have been faced like if you don't, you get shot by your own side. So if you like fail to take the orders, I'm just going to stay back in the church. You guys go run. Okay, this is somebody would be like possibly put an officer put a revolver on. There might be part of other officers at wars too, just for discipline. Okay, so it's like some guys say, hey, go over there. You don't have to get a gun, but you go over there, and if it's not do it, you get shot. Well, at best you might get like court-martials and things. There's a point. Here's another thing, which ties into my health fitness knowledge, and kind of it's like a cross of World War I military history meets health fitness truth that most people ignore. So I believe there's a lot of people that have been diagnosed with PTSD by the VA or something. Some soldiers have come from Warsaw. And we're going at this regard, we're not looking at the moral aspect right now, we're looking at like the physical stuff. There's a lot of people that come home from the war and they thought, oh, you got PTSD because you saw bad things happening. Okay, you witnessed some traumatic stuff. When in reality, some of these people, the root issue could be that they have brain inflammation because had an exposure also to the head, or they had a slip or fall in training. Like they do like running also, of course, and then hit their head in a good long, and then they have explosions go off. Then and like bumpy rides in vehicles, or maybe an IED. So for example, somebody could have like an IED experience where it's like they're driving a Humvee, something's on M-Rap, and there's a IED on the side of the road, and it explodes, doesn't kill everybody, but like flips the vehicle in the air and it rotates and falls on the top of this. And then one guy died in there, but one guy survived. And then it's like they come home later on, they got PTSD symptoms, they have mental, psychological problems. And they get some counseling, go to views and stuff. Yeah, oh, okay. So it's like you have these problems, that PTSD symptoms. Okay, what happened? They tell me, yeah, the explosion went off, and my body died in the car. So like, oh, okay, so you got this PTSD because you saw God, that guy die, okay. When in reality, the same event, the real issue could be that it shook his brain and gave new information. Where like a sudden blast, and it's like a rat of the brain caused, initiate new inflammation. And the new inflammation is like the root cause of these psychological errors, like rage, sleep problems, depression, things like this. That basically have extreme new inflammation. And it's still like just started, some people wake up to this, not a lot of people realize it. So commonly calling what mental health problems is new inflammation, I believe. Be it autism, you can Google autism new inflammation. There's a connection between mental health problems and inflammation in the brain. That's why it's important. And I can tell this, me getting to the point where I think like, oh, I have autism, I have these issues. I think that I got the point. I think that inflammation could be part of it. Formation and like it's causing these problems and keeping them this bad. So then I start working to lower inflammation in my body, and what would I have it? I feel improvement. Decreased sense of sensitivities, better balance, common with autism comes from it. So as I'm working to lower inflammation in my body, live an anti-inflammatory lifestyle, the brain is part of the body. Like anything from eating less sugar, which is inflammatory, to this and that, okay. Like, oh, okay, I'm less sensitive, less anxiety, better balance, better coordination, improvement. So it's like I have two competence, I can help people with other problems, with similar problems. So here's another example, anecdotal. So basically, there's a connection between mental health problems and psychological issues and brain inflammation. So what are some things that can cause brain inflammation? Toxins go into your body, get into your brain, and cause inflammation in the brain. Okay. Like let's say you have a tooth infection, but it goes to your brain or something like this, that is giving you inflammation in there. And I believe that can make somebody crazy. Mad Hatter's disease. They had something called Mad Hatter's disease. People working as hatters, and part of it was like dipping hats in baths of mercury liquid or whatever it was. I don't know what. But like they were exposed to mercury fumes, vapors, I think it was. There was something called Mad Hatter's disease. The people had this job a lot and went nuts. And the type of people that might show up in a cycle with being paranoid, schizophrenic, seeing, hearing things, or just have like rages, meltdown, whatever the things would be. Can't sleep, or whatever the things are. Okay. So the problem contains the solution if looked at with the right eye. See? So if you can understand the root, the problem, it's not that big of a leap to understand the solution a lot of times. It shouldn't be that hard. If you get clear on what the problem is, the same person that writes out and understands what the problem is capable of understanding what the solution is, after having arrived at understanding the problem. So anyway, that's the point. So what are some other things that cause brain inflammation? Remember I told you, I believe that brain inflammation is connected to mental health problems. Which means some people that are depressed, maybe part of what made them depressed is having high inflammation in the body for many years. And people that have autism sometimes have brain inflammation. You can Google neuroinflammation autism. And you can go, did the brain inflammation cause autism, or it's like because of being autistic, the behavior makes them have more inflammation or something. It's like the autistic person is more likely to stress, eat sugar or something. It's like whatever. And I'm not even comfortable getting deep into these topics on YouTube. So I had to hold back on this, not go too deep. Like autism is touch issue on YouTube. Even if I have it, I can't speak freely of what I believe about autism. Not really, I don't feel comfortable with. And why is the point? I mean, if I would believe that something that is not mainstream accepted, it's not the right form for that. Getting too speculative. So anyway, here's the point. There is a connection between autism and brain inflammation. You can search autism neuroinflammation, which means brain inflammation. Neurosurgeon. The word neuro before something else indicates brain. So read brain, translated. So neurosurgeon means brain surgeon, a surgeon that operates on the brain, does surgery on the brain. Neuropsychiatry is like physical brain psychiatry. Neurologist is somebody that works with the brain, okay, somehow. So that's like a neuro, I guess possibly the medical term for like an X-ray of the brain, like a neural X-ray. So basically the word neuro shows up about brain, it's like a medical term, like sciencey term, but basically brain inflammation in common language. Inflammation of the brain. So what are some other things that can cause brain inflammation? Remember, I told you I believe there's a connection between brain inflammation and mental health problems. And what are some things that can cause brain inflammation? Concussion goes to that. Concussions, being hit in the head, slip and falls, no loss of conscious concussion. You don't have to go out, get knocked out, and vomit necessarily after hitting your head for it to have caused brain inflammation, initiated, for you to have an onset of neuroinflammation at a high degree. You don't have to have suffer loss of consciousness. If you bump your head, it's not that if you didn't go out, get knocked out, that means you don't have any damage to the brain, okay? Even like fighters, boxers that do sparring, get hit lightly in the head, don't get knocked out or drop, it's still causing damage to the brain over time. And a lot of damage is actually, it's the inflammation. It's like it's causing inflammation, you keep having high level inflammation. If not addressed, it stays high, and then you have a degeneration over time due to high inflammation in the brain. I've seen studies about Alzheimer's on the brain connected to dementia, Alzheimer's dementia. Aluminum on the brain, I think it was. I've seen some study about that. What is aluminum? It's a metal that can give you inflammation. Okay. Then on top of that, there's more Alzheimer's dementia, statistically I believe now. Certain types, but it's like basically I believe there's a connection where it's like more like cookware, aluminum cookware, aluminum foil we use in cooking more, aluminum in deodorants, aluminum utensils, drinking out of aluminum cans with acidic liquids, like some kind of sour liquid in there. So there's certain factors that can hasten the decay of a material. So for example, if you have an aluminum can with water in it, it might be like leaking a little bit of some chemical in there. You heard about microplastics. It's like even, this is a new thing where they talk about how even glass bottles can have more microplastics, supposedly. And it comes from the cap, okay? So if you have a plastic bottle of water, it's known that it can like leak plastic toxins into the water, okay, over time. Now, what I believe is, analyzing this, there's certain factors that make it worse. If you have a plastic bottle in the supermarket, stored low, a water bottle, plastic, all plastic bottle, plastic, everything, and it's just plain water there, and it's stored at low room temperature, like room temperature is low. It is stored low, so heat rises, so it's like low. And it's spending a week before you pick it up. Let's say, as just an example, there's like 1 point of plastic toxins per 10 hours of, like the water is in this plastic, it's like 1 microgram, it just makes something up, okay? 1 microgram of plastic toxin that gets from the plastic container into the water per 10 hours. At this environment, no direct UV light, UVA, UVB exposure. Not super hot, but it's like kind of stored half dark and not really warm. Okay, it's like at 37 degrees and no direct sunlight exposure, it's leaking 1 microgram per 10 hours. Just as an example, I'm not saying this is science, I'm just trying to explain how toxins can work. Now there's factors that can make it release more toxins per minute. We have water in a plastic bottle, is here. There's going to be a little bit of toxins leaking into water. That is factors that can make toxins leak at a faster rate. So like this, the plastic is releasing toxins into the water. You have a plastic bottle for crying out loud. The plastic is toxic, microplastics, and it's leaking plastics into the water slowly over time. Okay, it's like 1 hour. It's like 1 microplastic toxin. Let's say. Now, if you raise the temperature, it's going to be higher. If you put it a plastic bottle, this is also valuable for people that are looking to be healthier. So if you get a water bottle in the store where you put in the windows, a dashboard or a car, it's got direct UV light exposure and it's hot, it's black. Now you're releasing toxins more. So if you already know that, yeah, there's microplastics and plastic bottles are it's bad for you, there's certain things that make it worse. If you buy a water bottle in the store like 7-Eleven, so just give me a car, you put it on the dashboard and it's a sunny day, and you have sunlight hitting it, and you have, it's like plastic, black, as it's hot. You're heating it up and it has UV light exposure. I believe that's going to make you release toxins at high rate. It's like more toxins into the water per minute, per hour. What is another factor that I believe could like hasten the decay of the plastic and make plastic toxins leak into the liquid at high rate? Acidity of the liquid inside of it. So if you would have lemonade in a plastic bottle, I believe that would be leaking. And I believe since I'm intelligent and I can understand things, so I notice part of being intelligent is not to depend on the system, hopefully depend on the inert. Because I know enough and I can figure things out if that's how to learn martial arts or something myself. But the average person has been decayed by the deep state to be like a child that's incompetent generally. So it's like I don't know how to improve my mental health. The only thing I know is the system. I don't know how to do this. The only thing I know is this. And it's like they want you to not know about other things, and they want to only know about the matrix system. So you depend upon the system. So anyway, it's the point. So acidity. So if you have a sour liquid in a plastic bottle, I believe it releases toxins at a high rate. Which is why when I've been teaching people how to make vitamin C water, that if you're going to have it in a plastic bottle, recommend that you make it pH neutral, buffer it, use sodium bicarbonate. And still, it's like I believe it's going to be more harm than good, even if you make vitamin C water, only drink out of plastic cups. It's like if you put enough vitamin C in there, it's still better than nothing. Now, here's the point. You can use glass bottles, okay? And really, they should. Here's a like a giveaway. If you're somebody that's an inventor for this, there's like emerging market, but it's Eastern market. You can make a lot of money, I believe. If you're one of the first people, then right now is the time. You make some that you can market that it doesn't have the plastic cap. It's a glass bottle that has a glass lid or cork or something that doesn't have plastics in it. So it's like a low BPA, low plastic toxin bottle. Okay, for somebody wants to, because it's a lot of people are learning about microplastics and always poison. So if you can figure out how to make a bottle that is made from glass and has a lid that doesn't have plastics in it, so you can you get less microplastic exposure. I believe that there's a lot of money, and even if it's somebody else already doing it, it's still like a market for when people are worried about microplastics. And if you sell things that are microplastic free or make you have less microplastic exposure, obviously just a market for it. And it's like easily marketable with the truth, because men don't want to be effeminate and have low testosterone. Lukewarms have less energy and be more easily fatigued and have a beard level generally. And these are some of the effects of low testosterone. And one of the ways that plastic toxins, BPA and other plastics can affect you is to reduce your testosterone level. Okay. So, for example, natural level soap it'll be easy to market it with the truth, like if I have no natural episode. Because the chemicals in commercial stuff, a lot of them, some of these chemicals can lower your hormonal. It can affect hormonal health, like lower masses also. From these chemical toxins, hiding up here, or fragrance and scented products. Some of these can lower masses also. So you can market natural apple soap with the truth and be like, oh, this thing, I'd like to have a bodybuilder in the sun there. Then I hold up a bottle of apple soap like this, what I use to keep my testosterone levels high. So for this, you understand, you can market it somehow with the truth. The best market is the truth. The best market is the truth. Yeah, so new information, mental health connection. So, I gotta give you some other anecdotal reports. So, I told you brain inflammation can cause mental health problems and exacerbate pre-existing mental health problems. I believe somebody's depressed, they get brain inflammation, might make depression worse. Somebody has anxiety, and they get brain inflammation at a high level, they might make the anxiety worse. Because your feelings, thoughts, and everything else, moods is originated from the brain. So your brain controls your mood and things like this. So if you have something hurt in the brain, it's like, don't be surprised if it's affecting feelings and thoughts and moods and things like this. Your brain controls your sleep, it controls your wakefulness level, it controls your heart rate, it controls your breathing rhythm, it controls a lot of things. So anyway, 2 case studies here. Tony Ferguson and BJ Penn, which I use in my teaching on health fitness. So I told you brain inflammation leads to mental health problems. They say, brain inflammation is connected to mental health problems, it's a connection. So who is Tony Ferguson? He's a guy that was in the media a few years back. And it's like, from what you saw alleged in the media, looks like a guy going nuts. Like he's running around breaking the walls, looking for the cameras in the walls, and accusing his wife allegedly of being a witch and splashing with holy water. And was like running away to go to an ATM to take out money to flee to Mexico or something like that. So it's like he was having an episode, okay, a public episode. And who is Tony Ferguson? So this looks like mental illness. Now who is Tony Ferguson? He's a guy who's had a career, what is now 40 something, around 40, or getting punched in the head, okay? And being punched in the head is something that can cause brain inflammation. Okay. What about BJ Penn? Recent. Same there, BJ Penn is in the news now. And I check out his Instagram. And he's exhibiting signs of possible Capgras syndrome as well. Where basically the BJ Penn mental illness lore, I cue you into it a little bit. It's that his mother has been replaced by a government agent with a face mask or something like this, or either that or a clone or something like this. And other people, the sabotage squad, some people around BJ Penn has been replaced with like impersonators, okay? And I know another case study of a guy. This is all anecdotal. I could be saying I read a Reddit comment of a guy saying something like, "Yeah, this happened to me." Okay, it's like all anecdotal. But I know I've seen another person, not a celebrity, who had like a period in their life where they were thinking possibly it's like people had been replaced around or something like this. And there were some other things about the person that made me think, oh, they might have had brain inflammation problems. Okay, so now it's possible. So I know at least one person reports have recovered from this without professional care. Which means going from thinking people are agents to stop believing this consists for that time. Which means there's hope. And I can't get into the details here, but I know that I can help BJ Penn out. So here's 2 angles, okay? Either he's really struggling mentally right now, and he's got brain inflammation, and he's got like psychosis, delusions, whatever the terms are, the right terms. He's a really mental ill guy. And his mother never got replaced, but he thinks his mother got replaced by the government. And it's like a fake mother that like took the place of his real mother, and she's an agent or something like this. And other people. So it's like, okay, either he's really mentally ill, and I'm looking to help him because I know that I could help him. Definitely. If he's really mentally ill, I can help him. If he's a government agent, it's like all the world's a state right actors. It's like a deep state. They have Ryan Garcia. Oh, you took me to Bohemian Grove. I was crawling some babies. Okay, it's like a publicity stunt, some kind of thing that the deep state get a system, shield, or influencer or see that to do. Okay. Maybe BJ Penn said no to go to Epstein now. It's like, okay, you're gonna have to do this humiliating spiel now to pay for your crimes, and then be like fake being mentally ill on social media for 6 months. And it will help us to cover up gangs of videos because it sounds kind of similar what you talk about while looking mentally ill to what videos report, like people are not being agents for the government. Do you see? This marks how changing, do you see? But here's the point. You've yet to reach my final point, but here's the thing. Yeah, so either BJ Penn is mentally ill or he's playing a game. Like he's got the job from the deep state to act crazy, to discredit real conspiracy theorists like me who talk about people being government agents and other TIs. Do you understand? That could be this. It could work. It's like gang stalking terrorists is real, and what is gang stalking? The conspiracy. It's people being agents, recruited, sometimes friends, family. Targets report some friends, family get recruited sometimes. Okay. Now I can't report having any family. Like my mom is not an agent for the program. My wife, we wonderful, is not an agent. But I've seen them try to get agents into my life in different ways. Anyway, here's the point. So either BJ Penn is mentally ill, and if so, I could help them. So actually, that would be the best thing. I understand, because it's like if he's really mentally ill, I know how to help him improve. Now the other option is he's a deep state system agent shield who's got the job to play crazy on Instagram to discredit real conspiracy theorists and conspiracies. Like gang stalking videos. It's like this kind of similar. Say, oh, I'm here, I believe people are clones. And some people are wearing masks and not to be a person. It sounds really nuts. Face value really nuts. And they're like, oh yeah, people are agents and they're stalking me and spying on me. Which is kind of tapping into the real conspiracy of gang stalking. A lot of what it talks about is similar to gang stalking, what targets suffer in Georgia is indebted to. Only with the added some people are clones that have been replaced. Yeah. So if BJ Penn is really mentally ill, that would be like better because there's something that can be done about it. See, I can't like call him up and be like, hey BJ Penn, knock it off, stop taking orders from the deep state, because if somebody is an agent, they got him, okay? So that it can't be improved. If it's a guy suffering mental health problems from brain inflammation, I could help him with it, okay? Now if he's an agent playing a role for the deep state Illuminati, who do you think is going to listen to? Some guy who's like DMs him on Instagram, hey BJ Penn, stop taking orders from the deep state. Or like the deep state that like run everything pretty much, okay? Say, hey BJ Penn, knock it off. When you knock it off, right now, somebody says, hey, let's say, go say, hey Illuminati, screw you, I'm not taking orders from anybody. What's the guy on Instagram that told me I should stop doing it, told me to knock it off. And it's like, I'm done. Okay. He get found hanging from like a sycamore tree or something, upside down, crucified, with like the bones of Jewish border figures and stuff like this. Put a nose in his mouth. It's like whatever. It's like whatever. I gotta finish up on my contact later. Most people are so retarded that they're not ready to receive. They can't sense competence. It's like I can't help most people. Most people are so mentally ill. They walk around in a sugar haze. They watch my streams. They can't sense the value in what I'm doing. So it's like most people are zombies. They walk around in a sugar haze. They're vitamin deficient. They're high in sugar. They're just mentally unclear, toxic little children. That's what most people are like. Adults. So it's like you're the one who's suffering from this. You could have been helped. But because you're a blind fool, you despise wisdom and instruction. So I've been sharing wisdom, knowledge, and instruction essentially. And people don't respond to it well, which shows that you're a fool. Fools despise with much instruction, eat the food own way. Right? This can not this is I think it's nuts. And you don't take the advice to quit the sugar and the other things. And you're the one who's looking ugly, having low IQ and lowered by the week, year. Okay. So anyway, that's the point. I will put up the work here. I believe that God might raise me up to teach the truth I'm teaching, because the body of Christ, his bride, his children are being under attack, which means the average Christian is being poisoned by the deep state, like the average lost person is. And I know how to help them, and nobody else has been doing the job. So I'm the one guy doing the job that I can prove would be edifying to the body of Christ. It's a job that is edifying to the body of Christ, as edification of temperature, if people act on it. Then I'm the one guy doing it. One king is on the faith, one Christian doing it. So I serve God, and some of the things that feels most meaningful to do are things that I can see how you can serve God's purposes. So I'm not going to finish. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep fighting to the bitter end. I'm not going to stop resisting the satanic deep state. There's a lot of people try to get Christians to be complacent, to be like trust providence, to God's providence. And the same people are worried about you getting active and exposing the asses. That's interesting. I saw a pattern. People that do work to expose what they made on trust God's providence, yeah, because they want to be complacent. They want to be like, oh yeah, I'm waiting for God to deal with people. I'll stop making videos exposing the deep state, sell out churches, and just wait for God to deal with them. 10 years later, okay. So how God operates is one through humans, okay. So it's not the God, oh, I'm heading off of this church, let's send some archangels down and rain down fire and bring some of the church. They put into it. No, God works through preachers. Reprove, rebuke, exhort. And have no flesh of fruit works of dogs, but reprove them. So part of what I'm doing is hope to reprove unfruitful works of dogs. So I gotta finish up some random video. A lot of you are child abusing child poisoners, which I don't like it too much. The average person is a child abusing child poisoner. They not only are poisoning themselves, but the children. And the average Christian man, the average man calls a Christian is a filthy porn addict pervert that watches porn by spirit. They didn't quit it like I did. They're still doing that. Which means they're a fornicator. And I don't even want to eat one. I shouldn't. Man is called a brother. The last world of up on the panel is that people are not Christians. If they're watching porn, I'm going to tell you it's a sin, it's belfry. But it's like I'm not expecting lost people to live as a Christian. If not Christian, I expect them to live as a Christian. But if a man is called a brother, it's a fornicator. Which means if there's somebody they're a Christian and they're committing a fornication, which watching porn is, I don't want anything to do with that. So I got to finish it. And I gotta make some phone.